My dear friends, when faced with the sharp sting of disrespect, resist the urge to lash out, for it is in these moments that your greatest power resides, not in retaliation, but in silence. The world often teaches us to fight fire with fire, but I tell you, it is the still waters that run the deepest. Silence is not weakness, it is wisdom in its purest form. When you choose not to respond, you rise above the noise of the world. Those who seek to disrespect you are not attacking your true self, they are revealing their own limitations. Your silence reflects their inability to touch your spirit. Understand this: disrespect is a fleeting shadow, but your inner calm is eternal. By staying quiet, you preserve the sanctity of your inner temple. Why allow the chaos of others to disturb your peace? Your energy is sacred. Guard it fiercely. In your silence, you teach others that you are not to be dragged into the mud of petty quarrels. You show that your dignity is untouchable, your self-worth unshaken. It is in these moments of restraint that the universe takes note, aligning itself to bring balance and justice. Trust the unseen forces to act on your behalf. Do not mistake silence for passivity. It is, in fact, an active declaration of self-mastery. By refusing to react, you say to the world, I am the creator of my reality. Your disrespect has no power over me. Disrespect has no power over me. And so, when the storms of disrespect rage, be the calm in the center. Stay quiet, not because you cannot respond, but because you choose not to. For it is in that choice that you unlock your greatest strength. The universe always hears your silence. Let it be filled with the calm assurance that you are untouchable, immovable, and divine. Belachedem. In the face of disrespect, there is often a natural urge to respond, to defend oneself, or to retaliate in kind. However, true strength lies in resisting this impulse and choosing silence instead. Silence, in its profound stillness, carries an extraordinary power that transcends the noise of reaction. It is not a sign of weakness or submission, but rather a declaration of self-respect, emotional mastery, and inner strength. When someone disrespects you, they are often seeking a reaction. Their words or actions are designed to provoke, to pull you into their world of negativity. By responding, you inadvertently give them control over your emotions and energy. But when you choose silence, you deny them this power. Your lack of response sends a clear and unshakable message. You are above their behavior, and your peace is not theirs to disturb. In this way, silence becomes a shield, a protective barrier that preserves your dignity and emotional balance. Silence is not passive, it is deliberate. It requires a deep sense of self-awareness and control to hold your tongue when your instincts urge you to speak. But in that quiet restraint lies a profound strength. It takes far more courage to remain composed than to react impulsively. To stay silent is to demonstrate that you are in command of yourself, that your emotions do not rule you, and that external circumstances cannot dictate your inner state. It is an act of defiance against negativity, showing that you will not be pulled into the chaos of someone else's making. Silence is a mirror. When you choose not to react, the one who disrespected you is left to confront their own actions without the distraction of your response. They are forced to sit with their behavior, to see it reflected back at them, without justification or counterattack. In this way, silence can be a teacher, offering a lesson far more impactful than any argument or retort could deliver. It places the responsibility for their actions squarely on their shoulders, while you remain untouchable. As I've said, this killing is of little importance because you are living in their minds and because you are living in their future. Silence also signals a profound respect for yourself. By refusing to engage, You affirm that your energy and attention are too valuable to waste on negativity. You send a message to yourself and to the world that you will not lower yourself to meet disrespect on its level. This self-respect is empowering. It strengthens your sense of worth and reinforces the boundaries you have set for how others are allowed to treat you. Most events balance you out and defeat you in one way or the other, dissolve business relationships or the venue in which silence creates space for clarity, for reflection, and for peace. When you do not react immediately, you give yourself the opportunity to process what has happened without the cloud of anger or hurt. In this space, you can make decisions that are aligned with your values and long-term goals, rather than being driven by temporary emotions. You reclaim your power to choose your response, rather than allowing someone else's behavior to dictate it. It is not always easy. It can feel unnatural, even painful to remain quiet when disrespected. But this is where its true power lies. The difficulty of staying silent is what makes it such a transformative practice. It requires you to rise above the situation, to see it from a higher perspective. It asks you to trust in your own strength and in the truth that you do not need to defend your worth to anyone. Your silence is your defense, and it is far more eloquent than words could ever be. This practice of silence builds resilience. It strengthens your ability to remain calm and centered no matter what external circumstances arise. It teaches you to prioritize your peace above all else and to value your energy as a precious resource. And it aligns you with a higher level of being, one where you are no longer reacting to life, but creating it on your terms. You align yourself with power, grace, and wisdom. You show the world that you are not defined by the actions of others, but by the strength of your character. And in that silence, you reclaim your rightful place as the master of your emotions, the guardian of your peace, and the creator of your reality. No! When faced with disrespect or negativity, the natural instinct for many is to engage, to defend, or to retaliate. Yet there is a greater power in choosing not to react, in stepping back and observing instead of participating. This act of staying quiet is not a sign of passivity. Rather, it is an intentional practice of detachment that allows you to reclaim control over your emotions, your energy, and ultimately, your state of mind. Detachment is the art of removing yourself emotionally from the chaos around you. It is not about indifference, nor does it mean you do not care about what has happened. Instead, it means you refuse to allow the actions or words of others to control your inner state. You recognize that engaging in their negativity is like stepping into a trap. Once you enter, it becomes difficult to extricate yourself without harm. By staying quiet, you sidestep that trap entirely. You disengage from the toxic energy and in doing so, protect your peace. When someone disrespects you, their intention, whether conscious or not, is to provoke an emotional reaction. They seek to pull you into their narrative, to control your focus, and to manipulate your energy. If you react, you feed the negativity, giving it more power than it deserves. But when you remain silent, you refuse to play their game. You break the cycle of reaction and counter-reaction, leaving their attempts to provoke you powerless. Your silence is a declaration that your peace is not negotiable, that your emotional well-being is under your control and not subject to the whims of others. This detachment through silence also creates a space for reflection. When you do not react immediately, you give yourself time to step back and assess the situation from a broader perspective. In that quiet space, you gain clarity. You begin to see that the disrespect directed at you is not truly about you. It is a reflection of the other person's state of mind, their insecurities, or their unresolved issues. Their behavior is a projection of their inner turmoil, and by staying detached, you refuse to let their struggle become yours. Detachment does not mean avoidance or repression. It is not about burying your feelings or pretending the situation did not affect you. Instead, it is about choosing how you respond to those feelings. When you remain quiet, You give yourself the opportunity to process your emotions privately, without the added pressure of someone else's influence. You reclaim the right to decide what the situation means to you and how you will move forward, rather than allowing the other person's actions to dictate your response. Staying quiet and detached, you also send a powerful message to those around you. Your lack of reaction shows that you are not easily swayed or controlled. It demonstrates strength and self-respect, signaling that you will not lower yourself to meet negativity on its level. This quiet confidence often has a disarming effect. It forces others to confront their behavior without the distraction of an argument or retaliation. Then, in many cases, it causes them to reflect on their actions in a way that words never could. Yes, this can be painful in the end, certainly. Detachment through silence is also an act of self-preservation. Your energy is a finite resource, and it should not be squandered on situations or people that do not serve your growth. Engaging with negativity drains that energy, leaving you depleted and unfocused. By staying quiet, you conserve your energy for the things that truly matter: your goals, your passions, and your well-being. When you look for the answer, make it by entering the space of the silence and being without distractions. And your well-being. You shift your focus away from external chaos and back to your own inner world, where your true power resides. This practice of detachment also aligns you with the higher level of consciousness. It teaches you to rise above the petty conflicts and distractions of the world, to see them for what they are, fleeting and insignificant in the grand scheme of your life. It reminds you that you are not defined by the opinions or actions of others, but by the choices you make and the energy you cultivate within yourself. Detachment is freedom. It frees you from the need for validation, from the cycle of reaction, and from the emotional weight of negativity. It empowers you to live on your terms, unshaken by the external world. By staying quiet and detached, you reclaim your power, standing firm in the knowledge that your peace is yours to protect and your energy is yours to direct. In this way, silence becomes not just a response, but a statement of self-mastery and inner strength. Disrespect is an act that reveals far more about the person delivering it than it does about the one on the receiving end. It is a reflection of their character, their state of mind, and their internal struggles. When someone chooses to treat you with contempt or disregard, it is not a statement about your value. It is a projection of their own insecurities, fears, or unresolved issues. To take their words or actions personally is to misunderstand the root of the behavior. By choosing silence in such moments, you separate yourself from their negativity and demonstrate that you are operating from a higher plane of awareness. Silence in the face of disrespect is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is the understanding that you do not need to defend yourself against baseless attacks because they do not define you. When you know your worth, you recognize that someone else's inability to see it does not diminish it. Their disrespect speaks to their limitations, not to your value. By remaining silent, you refuse to validate their behavior with your attention or energy. Instead, your silence becomes a quiet declaration of self-respect and inner strength. When you do not respond to disrespect, you deny the other person the reaction they are seeking. Often their behavior is designed to provoke, to elicit a response that justifies their negativity or validates their misplaced anger. By staying silent, you disarm them. You leave them alone with their actions, forcing them to confront the emptiness of their behavior. Your silence acts as a mirror, reflecting back their own energy without distortion. In that reflection, they may see the truth of their actions, though whether they choose to acknowledge it is up to them. Choosing silence also allows you to rise above the situation. Disrespect thrives on conflict. It feeds on engagement. But when you refuse to engage, you take the higher ground. You demonstrate that you will not lower yourself to their level, that your peace and dignity are not negotiable. This act of rising above does not go unnoticed. It sets you apart as someone who operates from a place of self-mastery, someone who is unshaken by the noise of negativity. It shows that you are guided by principles and not by impulsive reactions. Hmm? Hmm? I'll tell you. This approach does not mean that you ignore your feelings or suppress your emotions. Disrespect can hurt, and it is natural to feel anger, sadness, or disappointment when treated poorly. But by staying silent, you give yourself the space to process those emotions in a healthy way. You take the time to reflect on what happened and decide how you want to move forward, rather than being swept up in the heat of the moment. This measured response is a testament to your emotional intelligence and self-control. Your silence is also a signal to the universe about what you will and will not tolerate. By not engaging with disrespect, you set a boundary that says, "I will not give my energy to this." Boundaries are not just for the benefit of others, they are also for yourself. They remind you of your worth and help you maintain alignment with the person you aspire to be. Each time you choose silence over reaction, you reinforce your commitment to living in accordance with your values. Each time you choose silence over reaction, you reinforce your commitment to live in accordance with your values. Over time, this practice of silence becomes a powerful habit. It strengthens your resilience and builds your confidence. You realize that you do not need to defend yourself against every slight or prove your worth to those who cannot see it. Your worth is inherent, and it remains intact regardless of how others treat you. When you internalize this truth, disrespect loses its power. It becomes noise in the background, unable to touch the core of who you are. The way someone treats you is a reflection of them, not you. Your response or lack of it is what defines you. By staying silent in the face of disrespect, you choose to embody grace, wisdom, and self-respect. You show that you understand your value and you refuse to let anyone diminish it. Your silence becomes a testament to your strength, a sign that you operate from a higher plane where peace and dignity reign supreme. It is a quiet but profound act of reclaiming your power and protecting your inner harmony. Silence is a shield, a sanctuary that protects your energy from the chaos of the outside world. In a world filled with noise, distractions, and emotional turbulence, the ability to remain quiet in the face of provocation is one of the most powerful tools for preserving your inner peace and clarity. Silence is not a passive response. It is an intentional act of self-preservation, a conscious choice to safeguard your emotional and mental well-being from unnecessary disturbances. When you choose to remain silent, especially in moments of conflict or disrespect, you are drawing a line around your energy. You are saying, "This is mine to protect, and I will not allow external chaos to invade my inner world." Reacting to every insult, disagreement, or provocation is like opening the doors to your sanctuary and inviting chaos inside. Silence, on the other hand, keeps those doors firmly closed, ensuring that your focus and peace remain intact. One of the greatest advantages of silence is that it prevents you from being drained by negativity. Engaging in arguments or responding to disrespect requires energy, emotional, mental, and even physical energy. The more you give to these situations, the more depleted you become. By staying quiet, you conserve that energy for what truly matters: your growth, your goals, and your well-being. You recognize that not every battle is worth fighting, and not every comment deserves a response. Silence also allows you to maintain clarity in the midst of chaos. When emotions run high, it is easy to lose perspective and act impulsively. Words spoken in anger or frustration often lead to regret, as they are driven by temporary feelings rather than thoughtful reflection. But when you choose silence, you create a space for stillness. In that stillness, you can observe the situation objectively, without being swept away by the tide of emotions. You can see things as they truly are, rather than through the distorted lens of conflict. In this way, silence becomes a form of discipline. It requires strength to resist the urge to react, to hold your tongue when your instinct is to speak out. But this discipline is a gift to yourself. It teaches you to prioritize your peace over temporary satisfaction, to value your energy over fleeting victories. Over time, this practice of silence strengthens your emotional resilience. You become less reactive, less easily provoked, and more grounded in your own sense of self. You doubtless feel a change in silence, and you think about peace, mindfulness, and separation. Silence is not about avoidance or suppression. It is not about pretending that nothing affects you or ignoring your feelings. Instead, it is about choosing a response that aligns with your highest self. By staying quiet, you give yourself the time and space to process your emotions in a healthy way. You honor your feelings by not reacting impulsively, but instead allowing them to flow through you without letting them take control. This mindful approach helps you to stay balanced, even in challenging situations. Another benefit of silence is that it shifts your focus inward. When you are not constantly reacting to external stimuli, you have more energy to devote to your inner world. You can reflect on your thoughts, evaluate your priorities, and reconnect with your purpose. This inward focus is essential for personal growth and self-awareness. It allows you to stay aligned with your values and intentions, even when the outside world tries to pull you off course. Silence also sends a powerful message to others. When you remain quiet in the face of provocation, you demonstrate that you are not easily shaken. You show that you value your peace and dignity more than the need to prove a point or win an argument. This quiet confidence often commands more respect than any words could. It shows that you are in control of yourself and that your energy is too precious to waste on negativity. Silence is a tool for empowerment. It puts you in the driver's seat of your emotional state, giving you the ability to choose how you respond to the world around you. It reminds you that your peace is yours to protect and that no one has the power to disturb it without your consent. By staying quiet, you reclaim control over your energy and direct it toward what truly matters. Because, in a world that often values noise and reaction, choosing silence is a radical act of self-care. It is a statement that you will not be swept away by the chaos of the outside world. Instead, you will stand firm in your own peace, preserving your energy and clarity for the things that truly matter. Silence is not just the absence of words. It is the presence of strength, wisdom, and self-respect. Through silence, you protect your inner world and honor the power that comes from within. Silence, in its quiet strength, carries a powerful lesson that speaks louder than words. When you choose not to react to provocation, disrespect, or negativity, you demonstrate a level of self-discipline that commands respect. This choice to remain silent is not an act of passivity. It is an act of mastery. It sends a clear and undeniable message to the world. You are in control of yourself, and your respect is not something to be taken for granted or manipulated. It is something that must be earned. Choosing silence in moments of conflict is a profound example of restraint. It shows that you understand the value of your words and emotions, and that you will not waste them on situations or people that do not deserve them. Reacting impulsively might satisfy a fleeting desire to defend yourself or prove a point, but it often escalates the situation and diminishes your power. Silence, on the other hand, maintains your dignity and composure. Silence, on the other hand, maintains your dignity and composure. It teaches others that your energy is sacred and will not be spent on trivial matters. Your silence also reflects emotional maturity. It reveals that you are not ruled by your emotions, but are instead guided by a deeper sense of purpose and clarity. To remain quiet in the face of disrespect requires inner strength and self-awareness. It is not about suppressing your feelings, but about choosing a response that aligns with your values. This restraint teaches others that power is not found in loud words or heated reactions, but in the ability to remain calm and centered, even under pressure. When you remain silent, you challenge others to reflect on their behavior. Without the distraction of an emotional reaction, they are left to sit with their own words and actions. Your silence becomes a mirror, forcing them to confront the truth of their conduct. In many cases, this lack of engagement can lead to self-awareness on their part. It gives them the space to reconsider their approach, to recognize the impact of their words, and to question their own motivations. Silence, in this way, becomes a subtle yet powerful teacher. At the same time, your silence sets a boundary. It communicates that you will not engage with negativity or be drawn into unproductive conflicts. This boundary is not spoken but felt. It shows others that you value yourself and your peace above the need to prove a point. It teaches them that your respect is not something they can demand or force. It is something that must be earned through mutual understanding and genuine connection. This lesson extends beyond the individual moments of conflict. By consistently choosing silence over unnecessary reactions, you cultivate a reputation for strength and self-control. People begin to recognize that you are not easily provoked, that you do not engage in drama, and that you operate from a place of wisdom. This reputation teaches others how to approach you with respect, mindfulness, and care. They come to understand that you are not someone to be trifled with, and that your time and energy are valuable. Silence also teaches others the importance of self-discipline. In a world where reacting impulsively is often the norm, your ability to remain composed stands out. It inspires those around you to consider their own responses and to strive for the same level of control and awareness. Your silence becomes an example of how to navigate challenges with grace and dignity. It shows that restraint is not a sign of weakness, but of incredible strength. Your silence is a lesson in self-respect. It demonstrates that you know your worth and that you will not lower yourself to meet someone else's negativity. It teaches others that you operate from a higher standard, one that prioritizes peace, integrity, and self-mastery. By not reacting, you show that your sense of self is not dependent on the opinions or actions of others. This unwavering confidence is a lesson in itself, inspiring others to cultivate the same sense of inner strength. In the grandest game, silence teaches that actions speak louder than words. The way you carry yourself, the way you choose to respond or not respond, leaves a lasting impression. It is a reminder that true power does not need to announce itself. It is felt in the quiet confidence of someone who knows their worth and refuses to be drawn into the chaos of others. In a moment I heard this parable: the yogi who saw himself, stirred by the perception of breath, fluttered like a flower of air. Your silence is a gift to yourself and a lesson to the world. It protects your peace, preserves your energy, and sets a standard for how you expect to be treated. It teaches others that respect is not given lightly, but must be earned through mutual understanding and integrity. By choosing silence, you embody the strength of restraint, the value of self-discipline, and the profound wisdom of knowing when to speak and when to stay quiet. The universe operates on energy, vibration, and intention. Every thought, word, and action sends out ripples into the world, shaping the reality you experience. When you choose to stay quiet in the face of negativity, you are doing far more than avoiding conflict. You are aligning yourself with a higher frequency, one that channels your energy toward creation and manifestation. This inner calm, this deliberate choice to disengage from chaos, allows you to harmonize with the flow of the universe and direct your focus toward what truly matters. The following exercise, choosing a happy time, enables you to surrender the control of emotions and become aware of the flow of oneness that controls you. Staying quiet is not a sign of weakness or indifference. It is a powerful act of self-mastery. It reflects an understanding that engaging in negativity only dilutes your energy and diverts your focus from your higher intentions. Words spoken in anger or frustration carry a chaotic vibration, and that vibration resonates within you long after the moment has passed. By remaining calm and silent, you protect yourself from this internal turbulence. You choose to maintain clarity and preserve your energy for what serves your highest good. This inner calm creates a fertile ground for manifestation. When you're not consumed by the drama of the outside world, you have the space and clarity to focus on your desires. The energy you might have wasted on arguments or emotional reactions is now available for creative and constructive purposes. You become a conscious participant in the process of creation, using your thoughts and intentions to shape your reality. The universe responds to this calm, focused energy by aligning circumstances and opportunities in your favor. Silence also allows you to connect with your inner self, the part of you that is in tune with the infinite intelligence of the universe. When the mind is noisy with reactions, judgments, and anxieties, it is difficult to hear the subtle guidance that comes from within. But in the stillness of silence, you can access a deeper wisdom. This inner guidance often points you toward the path of least resistance, the path that leads to the fulfillment of your desires. By staying quiet, you open yourself to this divine connection and allow the universe to work through you. In moments of silence, you also begin to understand the power of detachment. Engaging in negativity ties you to the very things you wish to move away from. Reacting to disrespect, for example, anchors you in the vibration of conflict and defensiveness. But by choosing silence, you detach from the situation. You release the need to prove yourself or control the outcome. This detachment sends a powerful signal to the universe. You trust the process, and you trust yourself. It shows that you are not dependent on external validation or circumstances to feel whole. This sense of trust and detachment creates a magnetic energy that draws positive outcomes to you. And the term Yoshi. Furthermore, silence shifts your focus from external chaos to your inner world. It allows you to redirect your energy toward gratitude, visualization, and intention setting. Instead of dwelling on what went wrong or what others said, you can focus on what you want to create. This shift in focus is transformative. The universe responds not to what you do not want, but to the energy of what you are focused on. When you choose to dwell in thoughts of abundance, peace, and joy, you align yourself with those realities, making it easier for them to manifest. Inner calm also enhances your emotional resilience. When you practice silence, you cultivate the ability to remain centered, regardless of what is happening around you. This calmness is a powerful attractor. People, opportunities, and circumstances are drawn to your balanced energy. The universe too responds to this equilibrium by orchestrating events that match your inner state. Calmness becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, bringing more peace and harmony into your life. Many things actually begin with the self-fulfilling prophecy, bringing more peace and harmony into your life. Shirikhines. Staying quiet in challenging moments is also a testament to your faith in the greater plan. It is a declaration that you do not need to control every situation because you trust that the universe is always working in your favor. This faith creates a ripple effect, amplifying your alignment with universal energy. The less you resist, the more effortlessly things begin to flow. Silence then becomes an act of surrender, a way of saying, I trust that everything is unfolding as it should. Silence amplifies your power of observation. When you are not consumed by the need to react, you can step back and see situations more clearly. You notice patterns, motivations, and dynamics that might have been hidden in the noise of emotional reactions. This clarity helps you make better decisions and navigate your path with wisdom. The universe rewards this heightened awareness by bringing greater synchronicity and alignment into your life. First, you are choosing alignment. You are saying no to chaos and yes to creation. You are channeling your energy away from fleeting negativity and toward lasting fulfillment. The universe, in turn, responds to this inner calm by reflecting it back to you in the form of peace, abundance, and joy. It is a powerful reminder that the external world is merely a mirror of your internal state. When you cultivate calm within, you invite harmony into every area of your life. In the grand tapestry of life, silence is not just the absence of words. It is the presence of power, wisdom, and alignment with the universe. By choosing quiet strength over reactive chaos, you reclaim your energy, protect your peace, and rise above the fleeting distractions of negativity. Silence becomes your shield, your teacher, and your greatest ally, allowing you to navigate life with grace, dignity, and unwavering focus. The universe responds to the energy you emit. When you remain calm, centered, and aligned, you become a magnet for abundance, harmony, and fulfillment. Your silence speaks volumes. It tells the world that you know your worth, trust the process, and operate from a higher plane of existence. It is this unwavering serenity which claims the ear of the world and settles the eye like gravity. You are gentle and logical in your approach. Trust the process and operate from a higher plane of existence. Thank you for choosing to embrace the power of silence. May your journey be filled with peace, strength, and limitless possibilities.